Jeff, which NFC quarterback would you want most right now?
Brock Purdy. Listen, you're talking about the San Francisco 49ers, him having to go lead teams. You just saw his numbers, 12-2. His numbers are right up there with Jared Goff and everybody else. But the way that he's playing the game, he's thrown the most tight window passes for completions in the NFL in the last 2 seasons. So this guy isn't a game manager. Everybody talks about game manager, whatever that's supposed to mean. This guy puts the ball in the right place at the right time. And here's the greatest thing. He's got a 67.5% completion rate, which is all great. We just talked about their touchdown interception. But when it mattered against Cleveland, I get they lost the game. When it mattered, you got no Deebo Samuel, got no CMC. All of a sudden, you got to come up with a drive. You've heard the saying, sometimes you lose the battle, but you win the war. When his team saw him bring this team alive at the very end and get them down to a 41-yard field goal that unfortunately they missed, that was what his call was. Without his 2 studs, go do it. And Trent Williams, their starting left tackle, is hobbled because of an injury earlier in the game. This is what you're looking for a quarterback. When you talk about trust, when you talk about teams looking at their guy going, I know he's going to do it when it matters. Brock Purdy does not ever get caught up in the moment. And listen, this team around him is phenomenal. If he stays healthy, I think last year they won the NFC and ended up going to play for the Super Bowl. This team is built to win. They played a poor game against Cleveland. I get it. But ultimately, Brock Purdy is the guy in the NFC that you want right now.
You're saying right now. Right now. You said right now, not 10 years from now or 8 months from now. Right now, I'll take Jared Goff because I believe he's playing the position the best. You look at what he's doing and you look at how he's doing it, the consistency in which he's played with. And even if you go back to last year, they've only lost 1 game since I think week 11, week 12 of last year.
13-3 since week 9 last year. Second in the NFL.
And he only has 4 interceptions. He's playing the position. Now you see why Saturday they drafted him the Rams took him number 1 overall. And that's the potential that he possessed that they always knew he had. Make every throw. Yes, he has some nice weapons. Laporte, I love the tight end. I love St. Brown. I love Reynolds. I love the receiving core. I love the play calling. I love Dan Campbell, the culture in which he's instilled. But Jared Goff is playing the quarterback position the best in the NFC. I'm not saying he might not even be the best, but I'm saying playing the quarterback position right now, I think he's playing the best. I would take Jared Goff.
Well, Jeff Saturday, what you have to understand, Jeff Saturday, is incredibly important is that when the only anomaly is you. Usually when people are in my presence, they learn from the brilliance. Because Shannon completely agrees with me. It is Jared Goff right now, okay? Right now he's complete 69% of his passes, 11 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. I'm just looking at him, 13-3 since week 9 of last season. Obviously only second best to San Francisco. When you look at what he brings to the table and you look at the culture change, you can talk about San Francisco all you want to, but Ayuk and Deebo and Christian McCaffrey, they undefeated since Christian McCaffrey arrived. George Kittle, we can't ignore tight ends. Far be it my apologies, my brother. We can never ignore tight ends. And, of course, the play calling of Kyle Shanahan comes into play. Jeff Saturday, you got to appreciate this. In the case of what did we just finish lamenting about Justin Herbert? We talked about Brandon Staley. You don't have that issue with Purdy. Dan Campbell is not some offensive-minded guy. No. He's a rough rider, okay? Defensive-minded, toughness, those kind of things, okay? But Jared Goff comes there being exiled from L.A. and reminded you how the Los Angeles Rams once got to a Super Bowl before losing to the New England Patriots. And then I look at this kind of stuff right here. He's also completing a league-best 70% of his deep passes, 12 of 17 for 33 touchdowns, just 1 interception. He ranks 5th in pass yards per game at 269.7. He's tied for 5th in the league with the 11 TDs. He's only thrown 3 interceptions, as I articulated. He ranks 3rd in the NFL in passer rating at 105.1, which is currently a career high. You look at everything that's been transpiring. You look at the ridiculous, disgusting history of the Detroit Lions. 1 playoff win since 1957. 1 playoff win since 1957. Not a division title since, 2003 or 1993. I'm trying to remember which year it was. It's a 3 in there somewhere, damn it. The bottom line is, whether it's 20 years or 30 years, they got 1 division title in that period to show for it. 1 playoff victory since that time. I'm sorry, when you consider the culture, what he walked into, what he is doing, how he is winning, we got to give some love to Jared Goff. Goff. We really, really do.
11
Listen,
touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 4th in QBR, 29 passes of 20 yards or more, which is number 1 in the NFL.
Who's number 1 in QBR? I
Purdy.
forget. Oh, Purdy, that's right. And who do we say who had not lost a game until Cleveland this last weekend as a starting quarterback? Purdy.
Hey, Purdy.
So
Remember,
as we're gonna,
hold on. And the words of my good friend, remember, it's fluid.
It's fluid.
It's fluid.
Hold. See this right here? Put your hand up like this, Shannon.
It's fluid. Okay. It's fluid.
Listen, you can't start your argument, Stephen A, and go, oh, except for San Francisco. Like you can't have the argument and then use the guy that I just said was the one
wait a minute,
for the same thing. I'm not trying to take away from Jared Goff, but Brock Purdy has lit it up.
Listen, my brother, Jeff Saturday, I know the curly hair looks good. I hope to have it one day. I mean, you give the I love it, okay? Here's the deal, my brother. I brought up Kyle Shanahan for a reason. You can't ignore the impact that he has and compare Kyle Shanahan and Dan Campbell. Pick the two. In terms of an offensive mind, who do you want? You want Kyle Shanahan.
Sure.
So the fact that Jared Goff is doing what he's doing, okay, Dan Campbell, I love Dan Campbell and the job that he's done. But Kyle Shanahan brings a different dimension to the game of football on the offensive side of the ball. We all know this. The fact that Jared Goff is doing what he's doing in Detroit, by the way, the year was 1993. One division. That's the last time they won a division title, 1993. And we're talking about this man right now. You got to take all of those things into account, Jeff.
Listen, I'm not trying to take anything away from Jared Goff. He has played significantly better. He moved the ball down, got him to the got to the 41-yard field goal. That's doing something. And again, without his two best playmakers, is Shanahan a great play caller? Absolutely. Does he have guys around him? For sure. But in big moments, you'll see if a guy's just depending on the system. He is not. He's making plays with his arm, with his mind. You got to tip your cap to this kid. I'm telling you, this kid is playing lights-out football.
We love him. We're just saying that right now, Jared Goff.
But hold on. I'm not going to give you credit for saving my life when it was you that almost killed me. You talk about, he brought him back. He brought him back. Hell, he put him in that situation. Did you see how bad he was playing once Debo went out? Did you see how bad he was playing when C-Mac went out? He should have brought him back. He put us in that situation.
Oh no! You can't. You gonna put it all? You gonna put it all on Purdy?
You just gave him all the credit. What did he just say?
You
just said his teammates looked at him, and when they needed to play the play, he made the play. You ain't mentioned nothing about nobody else. You didn't mention about IU.
They should be undefeated.
4-yard run and went 40.
They should be undefeated. That happens with Jared Goff all the time. That St. Brown, Reynolds about kills the whole Bucks defense with one block. St. Brown walks it in. That ain't because Jared Goff threw him open. But it's a little crosser that took it a yard.
That was a nice
Don't try that.
All right.
Nice throw. Nice throw.
Jeff, you didn't know you were going to be handling the double team again?
Oh, they got nothing for me. They got nothing for me, Molly.
Oh, my gosh. All right.
Oh, he was king of the scoop block. You know, Molly, he was king of the scoop block.
Yeah? Is that what it was? All right, guys, despite Sunday's loss, Brock Purdy still leads the league in QBR. Let's get to the AFC. Tua has been on a tear. That trend continued Sunday when Miami torched Carolina. Tua threw 3 TDs versus the Panthers. He's now the MVP favorite at Caesars Sportsbook, just ahead of 2-time winner Patrick Mahomes. Purdy has the 3rd shortest odds, with his teammate Christian McCaffrey rounding out the top 6. All right, S.A., I'll start with you. Is Tua the clear-cut MVP right now?
I'm going to have to say no. He's not. We talked about Goff. You want to throw Purdy in there up until this past week, and that's fine. Shannon, Jeff Saturday, I'm going to have to put his wide receiver in that conversation.
Oh, you with Reek? Tyreek.
I'm going to have to put Tyreek in that conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, we went from talking about whether or not he could ultimately eclipse or capture a 2,000 yards receiving season to saying that he's on pace for 2,300 yards on the season.
Yes.
That's what he's on pace for. He's chasing 2,000 receiving yards. He's averaging 135.7 receiving yards per game. So he's on pace for the 2,300 because of that. He leads the NFL with 814 receiving yards, 6 touchdown catches, 19.4 yards per catch. There's been 14 games this season where a player had at least 150 receiving yards in a game. The brother Tyreek Hill has 4 of them. 4 of them. Now, let me tell y'all something right now. I don't know if y'all watching Miami enough. All of these passes, 8 for 19, 20, 30, 40 yards. You just got Tua dipping it 2 yards to him, and he the one taking it to the house. He the one going 20, 30, 40, 50 yards. This brother, and I call him the Dame Dollar of the NFL. I mean, he when he's running for a touchdown, he's waving goodbye to defenders. This is what he's doing before he throws it. But that's after waving goodbye. This brother is on another level. It's just that simple. And I think that Shannon makes up a good point, and it's a discussion for you, Shannon, with Jeff Saturday and others someday in the near future. It's a worthy discussion. When we look at what he's doing, I'm just talking about right now where he's at. I'm not talking about in totality, cumulatively speaking. I'm not saying that. I'm saying when we look at what we're seeing from him right now, talk to me about Randy Moss. Talk to me about Jerry Rice. And ask this question. What receiver would you rather have on your NFL squad if you are a quarterback or you are a head coach with Tyreek Hill at his best compared to the greatest? I'm talking T.O., I'm talking Moss, I'm talking Rice, I'm talking throw the Marvin Harrisons in there. Go back in the day, Lynn Swan, John Stowe, all these people. Go back to all of them, okay? I've never seen anything like this. And if he ends up getting over 2,000 yards, it's going to be incumbent upon you, Shannon, you, Jeff Saturday, all of RC, Swagoo, everybody, Mina with her data analytical self, and everybody in between. It's going to be incumbent on everybody to go back and watch the tape and not just look at Tua's yards, but look, to me, I'm not giving Tua credit for throwing a 3-yard slant pass to Tyreek Hill and he take it to the house. I'm giving that credit to Tyreek Hill. That's what I'm saying. Tyreek Hill right now is a legitimate, bona fide leading candidate for NFL League MVP.
I think he has a better chance of winning Offensive Player of the Year. I thought Jerry had the best chance of winning the MVP in '87 when I think in 12 games he had 22 touchdowns.
Moss came close in 1998.
Moss broke the record. So I think that was the closest a receiver. I don't think a receiver is going to get it for the simple fact if he has 20 touchdowns, how many touchdowns does a quarterback have? So that's why Tua is probably would win it if it was voted today. But I agree. I think it's 6 games into the season. If they voted right now, Stephen A., Tua's going to win that award. If they voted I believe right now, given what the Dolphins' offense looked like, Mostert has 11 total touchdowns. Tyreek has the touchdowns that he has. The offense over 500-plus yards a game. They had a game in which they had ran for 350 and caught for 350, something that had never been done. So for me right now, Tua is in the lead, but I don't think he's like unanimous like we've seen some of the years past where Patrick Mahomes, you're like, nah, Pat got that award, or Aaron Rodgers got that award. I don't think it's that clear-cut right now, Saturday.
Vote, by the way, Jeff Saturday, Randy Moss was the last wide receiver to get an MVP vote. That was in 1998.
Listen, Hill has been special. I mean, and we talked about this. The way to stop Miami's offense is to limit Tyreek Hill, right? Can try to control his yards after the catch again and I think his attitude as well is what kind of brings everything to the forefront. Like the way he plays the game is electric. Everybody buys in. That mentality just goes to everybody. So no doubt Hill has played well. I'm going to give you another name. I think Christian McCaffrey, again, when you talk about how players separate themselves not only in the team but for the league,